Welcome, my name's Jacob and I'm your regular whiskey dude, and today we'll be having an extremely subjective review of Glenmorangie 10. Hit it. So I'm sure you've already watched dozens of hours of whiskey reviews, so me doing the same thing would not be actually adding any value to it. Okay, so you might ask, what is a extremely subjective review? Well, it's a extremely subjective review. But in all seriousness, whiskey to me is a very subjective experience. You know, there's that old saying, the best type of whiskey is the whiskey that you enjoy the most, and I want to actually have it as one of the core values of this channel. Okay, so Glenmorangie 10, a 10-year-old Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, one of the top most established whiskey brands out there, especially in the single malt category. It has a lot of finesse in its overall presentation, given the bottle and packaging, but at the same time, it's a fairly accessible and easy to buy and locate single malt Scotch whiskey. And let's take a look on the statement on the label itself. It's always good to have a feel of what actually the producer tells about its product. Glenmorangie Original balances honeyed sweetness with notes of citrus, almonds, and creamy vanilla for a rounding complexity and enticing smoothness. And year after year, experts have honored our whiskey with a host of prestigious awards. Okay, that's a very bold claim. I like that. Now, this is the fun part. We'll be having a drink. Cheers. Interestingly enough, one of the most common tasting notes that appears in like YouTube reviews and blog posts about Glenmorangie 10, the floral note. I'm not sure if I'm picking it up. Most importantly, I'm picking up the smoothness, which if I were to, go back in time and start off once again with getting into single malt whiskey, I say that smoothness is one of the kind of key factors that decide whether you're gonna get into that whiskey or not. Single malts that have a bit more smoothness are a really great way to progress from entry-level blended Scotch or Irish whiskeys, which sometimes tends to be very grainy. That results in a bit of harshness, which is quite an unpleasant experience to drink that sort of whiskey, especially neat. And now's the subjective part. So I definitely treasured that whiskey because I got it as a gift from my best friends last year in December when my baby daughter was born. So definitely Glenmorangie has a place in my kind of, stack of whiskeys that I have fond memories of. However, I might not be a big fan enough to buy more of these, if that makes sense, right? Okay, and overall, Glenmorangie, my rating, it's an okay whiskey. But then again, you can still have great experiences and memories of it. It's great for getting started, and definitely I understand why it makes all of these rankings among best single malt whiskeys to get started with, or just like a general entry-level whiskey. A very solid price, $37 according to the Whiskey Exchange. Makes a lot of sense. And overall, a great combination of looks, taste, and the all-roundness of it, given the price as well. As I mentioned, would I buy another bottle of this? Probably not. However, I would probably give it as a gift to a friend of mine that is actually getting started with whiskey. So it definitely makes sense to consider it a very entry-level single malt in a good way. Okay, so that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed my first installment of the extremely subjective reviews. We were drinking and enjoying Glenmorangie 10. If you would want to see more videos like this, then be sure to give it a like. Leave a comment if you had a personal story about Glenmorangie 10. Would love to hear it. If you're willing to support the channel directly, then be sure to go to the description below. There are various ways to do so. And that's it for today, and let's finish up the glass of Glenmorangie 10. Cheers. Outro.